This is the Kindy Rockstars Podcast, Season 6. Bringing you incredibly talented singers, artists, creators, and producers in the genre of children's music. I'm your host, Patrick Adams. Each episode will feature songs, album features, or video features, and great stories from the artists themselves. Kindy Rockstars Season 6 is proud to be supported and sponsored by Waldmania Public Relations, serving the family entertainment community for over 20 years, and Debbie Derryberry Kids. Debbie Derryberry, one of Hollywood's most active and sought-after voiceover artists, is best known for voicing Jimmy Neutron in the Academy Award-nominated film Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and Draculaura in Monster High. A lifetime musician and songwriter, Debbie has written and recorded 4 award-winning preschool music albums. Her song Baby Banana hit #1 on Sirius XM Kid. Her song, written with Grammy-winning artist Lisa Loeb, called The Compost Bin, has won a Napa Award. Her latest album, Gotta Go Green, also a Napa winner, is all about giving kids tangible ways to save the earth through recycling, composting, reducing carbon footprint, and more. Her YouTube channel, Debbie Derryberry Kids, combines her love of cartoons and music with delightful animated videos of her songs. Children listen as well as watch, so a visual component is so important. Kindy Rockstars thanks you so much for your support, and now, on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars, and I have joining me today Matt and Michelle of Matt and the Dragonflies. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right. Well, you guys are first-time guests, so I'm excited to learn all about you and your journey into making music for kids. So tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it started about 20 years ago when I was a parent for the first time. So I'm an older dad now, and went through this journey before back in the early 2000s with my daughter Isabel, who's now 21. Hard to believe. Yeah, just being a dad with her, I found I would be, making up songs in those moments of parenting that seem to call for a song, and helping her brush her teeth, helping her with the whole potty training thing, changing her diapers, helping her read, just making her laugh in the car, that type of thing. I'd come up with a little tune and some fun lyrics, and often I'd go back to that in my head and maybe make the lyrics a little bit better, and just kind of develop it that way. I never considered it songwriting at the time, because I didn't play the guitar. I don't play the guitar still. And so this was all done a cappella. The melody would come to me, and, wrote a lot of poetry through my teenage years and 20s. So the words naturally came, and would just be kind of making them up in my head. And as I say, never really thought of it as songwriting until quite a few years later. So this sort of fast forwards to the pandemic, where had a little bit of extra time on my hands, and Isabel was turning 18. And I'd been singing these songs to my sons, Oliver and Andy, who are now 6 and 4. And so they were, again, fresh in my mind, but, realized that they were originally Isabel's songs, and she was turning 18 in 2022. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to kind of write these down at the very least, and record them for her? And it started out, I was just gonna, write the musical lines and the lyrics down and put them in a book for her. But I thought, well, I'll pull out my old sort of music theory and sit down at the piano and come up with some chords for the songs, right? Because they were just melody lines without chords. So figured out the chords, and And then discovered GarageBand on Apple,
Yeah.
and thought, well, I can play the piano, I can play any of these other instruments, at least using GarageBand. And I've listened to a lot of classical music through the years. When I was a teenager, I was quite excited about composition and orchestration. I was, one of these sort of weird teenager who actually, sat down with orchestral scores and followed along to symphonies. I've always been interested in that sort of thing. And so, the idea of coming up with different, instrumental lines for songs was something I was quite intrigued by. So GarageBand kind of opened that world up to me to be able to do that. And so I found I was developing these songs, just through, my basic musical skills and capabilities of the software into something which was sounding pretty good. So I thought, well, maybe this could be something. And I came up with demos that I was, proud of, and then connected to a really talented musician in Australia, who has a mixing mastering studio. His name is Luke Garfield, and his studio is Banana Llama Studios, and he liked the idea of the project, and yeah, he became a real sort of partner in the thing, and even made, some contributions to the percussion, especially wrote a few musical lines for me of different parts. And yeah, it came together just to the point where I was suddenly proud to release it and excited to release it. So I sent it into the world, and my whole family was involved in the recording. Michelle did, beautiful backing vocals, and my kids, Andy and Ollie, both contributed some vocals to that, and I even got Isabel to sing on one of the songs. So yeah, it became a real sort of family project, labor of love type of thing.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that previewing the songs. I was like, all right, I'm excited to
Great,
hear
good
the
to hear.
the stories of all these because they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you and I have some things in common. I also kind of got started with GarageBand, not being really an instrumentalist myself. During the
Awesome.
pandemic, I discovered that, and ultimately I could write a song. I'm a children's book author as well, so finding the
Nice.
words is not hard. It was really composing the song and piecing the parts together
Hmm.
and how to write a hook and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
once
yeah.
once you get into it, and that was a great tool in sort of helping bring all that together. So definitely, and I also have older kids and younger kids. So,
Right. Yeah, yeah. You know that
and
adventure,
Yeah.
yep,
getting it from all sides. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So very cool. All right. So, Dragonfly Ring is the name of the album.
Yeah.
And so is this your this is your debut album?
Debut album. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you touched on the story a little bit. Um, Talk about sort of your influences and what songs you chose and kind of pulling the whole album together.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, it became an album just through, pulling these different songs from Isabel's childhood, and I've always liked, I'm a real sort of music guy of all genres, and I've always liked the idea of an album. I've never been a, singles playlist person. I like the idea of a cohesive album, and so. It was kind of when I took the songs and put them together and realized, yeah, they do kind of fit together in a certain way. And there are little sort of stories in here that I can patch together. Sequencing the songs became kind of a fun thing. And maybe I was convincing myself that it fit together, but it seemed to fit together to me. And when I was so there's one part of the album, for example, where I realized I had 3 or 4 songs about potty training, right? And big part of children's experience, and of course, it's a point of humor for kids. Kids think poop is funny, right? And
Yep.
and and so and I had these 3 songs, and so I thought, well, I'm going to make a little kind of suite, put them together on the album, and tell a little story about potty training. So I did that, and there's dialogue with my 2 sons in there, and I hope that sort of transcends just the toilet humor part. I think there's sort of a affirming message in there about learning new things and becoming confident with the whole potty training thing. So there was the story piece to it, and then the musical piece to it. I wanted, because these were just lines of melody and lyrics. When I got down to the garage band orchestration, I was kind of free to develop the songs in any way I wanted in terms of style, right? I mean, some of them had a natural style to them. I mean, the Sugarbug song was always going to be an Elvis tinge song right from the beginning. But
Yep.
others, I could kind of, bring in whatever styles I wanted, and I liked a lot of different styles of music. We all, do in our family, and listen to a lot of rock and roll and folk and classic rock and classical. So I tried to bring in a lot of variability in terms of musical style. So we've got, there definitely a folk sound. We've got a disco sound on one of the albums, a little bit of the Who style drumming on one of the songs, and yeah, just sort of an old time, old phonograph 1940s pop song type of thing on one of the songs. So bringing in that musical variability, while at the same time having some flow and cohesiveness, and I think a lot of the cohesiveness is provided with the dialogue between my sons and I. So that was a big part of it, and that was a big I think inspiration for a lot of the songs are the fun little conversations I would have with Isabel when she was a little girl. So I wanted to bring that into the album. So having Ollie and I, kind of chatting and bantering back and forth during the letter sound song, and on a few of the other songs, I thought, kind of provided some momentum to the album, and also kind of tied it together with this theme of parenting and, interacting, with your child
Right, right.
in that way. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to talk about some of the songs on this album, but before we do that, what was the inspiration behind the name Dragonflies?
Oh, so the Dragonflies just came out of the album name Dragonfly Ring. We needed a band name, and I thought it was a cool band name after I had named the album. So I thought, yeah, we'll name ourselves after our first album. And Dragonflies are, they're fun and beautiful, and
They're
kids
yeah,
love
very
them.
cool. Yeah.
But the reason the album name comes from a little plastic dragonfly ring that Isabel had when she was 2 or 3, and there's a song about it on the album. And yeah, I mean, she got this thing at an arcade, and what I remember is that, she loved this simple little toy, and she would kind of run around with it on her finger and bring the dragonfly to life. And so I was kind of, struck by everything that was going on when she was sort of lost in the moment of bringing this dragonfly to life, running around with it on her finger, and it sort of inspired me to write a little song about play, about children's play, and all the things that are happening for kids when they are playing. All the story, they're learning storytelling, they're learning role play, they're learning problem solving, and it's all kind of coming together in these little moments. And so that song on the album, which is called the title track, Dragonfly Ring, is about play and so it's kind of a kid song from that perspective, but it's also about parents and adults in general observing play and remembering to sort of be part of those, important episodes in your kid's experience and paying attention to it and learning from it and helping them with the experience. So that's what that song is about, and it's not one of the featured songs I sent you, but it's the title track for the album, and then the album just takes its name from that. Yeah,
Very cool.
with an exclamation mark on the end. The song doesn't have an exclamation mark, so it's not quite a title track in that respect.
Just a minor difference.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the featured songs here, and we'll kick it off with "Brush the Sugarbugs," your Elvis style song. And yeah, I definitely heard that in previewing it.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about
Yeah.
tell us a bit about this one.
Okay, well, it was a teeth brushing song. I remember it was sort of Isabel would have been young enough where I was probably brushing her teeth and had to convince her to keep her mouth open long enough, and so I needed a kind of a fun song for her to get into that. And I think the inspiration for that song, I think it goes back to a Wham song. So Wake Me Up Before You Go has a bass vocal that goes jitterbug,
Yep.
right? And I think that in my mind became Sugarbug, and I developed the melody from there. So that was directly inspired maybe by Wham and George Michael, that one. And it just kind of the low register of that kind of had the Elvis feel to it naturally. So I went full Elvis when I orchestrated that one. And that was a song when I was orchestrating it. I remember Michelle kind of vetted everything and just she has a good musical and vocal sense. So I'd play her the song, and I remember I was trying to get the Elvis sound to it, and I used the bass line from Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, and I had this piano part that was kind of going. And she listened to the song and said, I don't know if you remember this, but you said that piano part needs to be on the offbeat. I had it on the offbeat. You said it needs to be on the offbeat.
Yeah.
And that changed the sound of the song. It gave it that sort of, syncopated sound that, goes with the Elvis rhythm. So, yeah, went full Elvis with the little sort of spoken vocal part in the middle, and thank you very much at the end. So it was fun to do.
Very cool. Well, we're gonna play that song for everyone now. Here it is, "Brush the Sugarbugs" by Matt and the Dragonflies.
I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day. I brush your sugar bugs, bing! I brush your sugar bugs, bing! I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day. I brush your sugar bugs, I brush your sugar bugs, I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. I brush your sugar bugs, bump-a-dip, bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day. Hey, baby, you gotta brush those sugar bugs. Brush them up and down, brush them all around. I like that minty taste. I like the way it feels. You gotta brush those sugar bugs before bedtime. You gotta brush those sugar bugs after meals. That's why I just have to sing. I brush the sugar bugs, bump-a-dee-bump, bump, bump. I brush the sugar bugs, bump-a-dee-bump, bump, bump. I brush the sugar bugs, bump-a-dee-bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day, day. I brush the sugar bugs, pow! I brush the sugar bugs, wow! I brush the sugar bugs, bump-a-dee-bump, bump, bump. I brush the sugar bugs, bump-a-dee-bump, bump, bump. Away, away, today, day, day. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that was Brush the Sugarbugs. All right. Next song we're going to talk about is called Letter Sounds. Tell us about this one.
Okay, yeah. So I remember I was on a sabbatical. I'm a university professor as my day job. So I was on a sabbatical in Europe back in 2009. And Isabel was 5 at the time, and she was missing the first few months of kindergarten to be with us on this sabbatical. So my wife at the time and I were doing our best to teach Isabel her letter sounds, and it was kind of a repetitive thing. You know, I remember we had the little sort of flashcards with the pictures and the different letters and how you're supposed to sort of sound them out. B b b k k s for A, B, and C, and it just kind of became a tune in my head, and then I invented the sort of rock and roll chorus to keep her interested and kind of get her through the tedium of learning these letter songs and hopefully get letter sounds and give her maybe a little mnemonic to come back to when she was sort of trying to remember the different sounds that G makes. J j g, right? So yeah, and it became this sort of 60s sort of AM radio style rock song with a little sort of country folk in the middle. And when I did that one with Ollie, it was a lot of fun. We recorded it and came up with some lines. I remember Michelle, you helped me with a lot of the lines.
So
You were
behind the scenes consultant.
You were definitely my behind the scenes consultant, on that, right? To make the dialogue between Ollie and me, natural, right? It was obviously, scripted but Ollie does a great job on that. He was only 3 actually when we did those little vocal bits, and he sounds a lot older.
Yeah.
The editing probably helped a bit, but he was always very, articulate and precocious from an early age. So I think even though it's edited, it captures Ollie at that age, I think.
Very cool. Well, European sabbatical sounds amazing. Were there any highlights of specific countries that you went to?
Well, I was in Paris at the time, actually, when I wrote this song. I remember we spent most of our time in Lisbon. That's where we were based, but we did a tour through Europe, did something like 8 or 10 countries in a month in the fall of 2009. And the longest time we spent was a week in Paris, and so we were situated in a not an Airbnb at that time, but a rented house, and had the time for Isabel to do some homework. So I kind of wrote that song in this house in Paris, or apartment in Paris.
Very cool. Well, Sabbatical makes a great song here for Letter Sounds. We're going to play it now. Here it is, Letter Sounds by Matt and the Dragonflies.
Hi, Ollie. Are you ready to do an alphabet song?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Great song. This song's a little bit different. It's about the different sounds that every letter makes.
2.
And once you know your letter sounds, you're ready to start reading. Are you ready to give it a try?
Ready, Freddy.
Great. I need your help with this one, so let's go.
Let's do it.
Letter sounds everywhere. Letter sounds, A to Z. Better sounds, Angora sweater sounds. Hot and dry weather sounds. Fluffy cat petter sounds. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds. Letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds. Now this is the part where you do the letters and I do the letter sounds, okay?
Okay.
Letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds. So what do you think of letter sounds so far?
They're alright.
Good, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, good, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds. We're coming up on O for Ollie.
M for Matt.
Right. Letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds. Wow, Ollie, we sure have covered a lot of letter sounds.
You mean alphabetical sounds.
Good word.
S.
Letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound,
X. Like xylophone.
Exactly. Letter sound. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds. Are you ready for the big finish?
Absolutely.
Yeah, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound, letter sound. Ooh, letter sound. Every time I say a word, I'm making letter sounds. Letter sounds, letter sounds, letter sounds.
That sounded like the Beatles. A meatloaf.
And that was Letter Sounds. All right, next song. It's called Daddy Put the Diaper On. Talk about this one.
Okay, yeah, this was a basic, changing diaper song. It was probably one of the first songs that I wrote for Isabel, it was I'd sing it during diaper changes. I remember there was an original song and melody that was a lot simpler because I'd change her on a bed, and there was a ceiling fan up above, and she'd look up at the ceiling fan. She'd be under a year old, and I'd sing her a song about the ceiling fan. The fan goes around, round, round. Fan goes around. It wasn't a great song, but that was probably the first song I wrote for her. And then it eventually that evolved into Daddy Put the Diaper On, Quick Sticks. And the Quick Sticks was from a cartoon that she liked at the time called Timothy Goes to School. And the teacher would say, "Quick Sticks, children." It's just an old sort of British school marm expression for hurry up, hurry up. And I thought I'd never heard it before that cartoon, but I thought it was really cute and kind of old-fashioned sounding. So I added that into the song. Yeah, there's exactly one line in the song. It's very simple, and short, and it's the introduction to the suite of songs about potty training, which I call the poop suite.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll check this one out now. Here it is. Daddy Put the Diaper On by Matt and the Dragonflies.
Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. P.U. It smells like Andy needs a diaper change.
Do you think it's poo?
I don't know. It could be gas.
I think it's poo.
There's only one way to find out for sure. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks. Daddy put the diaper on. Daddy put the diaper on, quick sticks.
And that was Daddy Put the Diaper On. And moving into another of the Poop Suite songs, I'm assuming, we have Poop or Gas. Tell us about this one.
Okay, well, Daddy Put the Diaper On leads right into Poop or Gas, and again, there's a little dialogue between Ollie and me. Ian Daddy Put the Diaper On that leads into Poop or Gas. And I think Poop or Gas was the only song that didn't come out of Isabel's childhood. It was one that I wrote probably around 2021 for Andy, my younger son, who was still in diapers at the time. And it was kind of a game between Ollie and me to guess whether a stinky diaper that Andy had was poop or gas, because Andy was not talking at that time, so we just kind of had to guess. So we called it, it was Russian poulette was one of the one of the terms we used for it. It was just kind of a funny game we played, so I made up the song and kind of has an old time Irving Berlin sound to it. Maybe that was the idea when I orchestrated it, and just a song that where the title says it all.
Can't argue with you there. All right, we're going to play it now. Here it is. Poop or Gas by Matt and the Dragonflies.
Okay, Andy, let's see what's so stinky. Is it poop, poop or gas? Is it poop, poop or gas? Does it make you sick? Does it make you laugh? Is it poop, poop or gas? Poop or gas? Does the stinky last? Does the stinky last? Does the stinky fade? Does the stinky last? Is it poop or gas? Poop or gas? Does it leave a rash? Does it leave a rash? Does it leave no trace? Does it leave a rash? Is it poop or gas? Poop or gas? Is it poop or gas? Is it poop or gas? Does it make you sick? Does it make you laugh? Is it poop or gas? Poop or gas?
Poop.
And that was Poop or Gas. All right, last song here in the song feature is called The Moon Song. Tell us about this one.
Okay, yeah, this one was it was originally just a very simple scrap of music that came out of Isabel's childhood. The part that came out of Isabel's childhood was just the part that goes, "Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Here I am, here I am." And it was a jumping on the bed song that I do with her. So when she was, anywhere between 2 and 5 years old, maybe, I'd hold her under the arms on a bed, so she was safely being held, and then jump her up and down. And as I was jumping her, I'd say, "Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?" I can't quite remember where the lyric came from, but my recollection is that we did this in a bedroom where there was a small little window, and if it was wintertime and bedtime was dark, you could sometimes see the moon through that window and sometimes not. So I think that was where the "Where's the moon" came from. And then I'd crash her onto the pillow at the end of this game and say, "Here I am, I was hiding," and tickle her on the pillow. So it was just a jumping game. So when I was putting the album together and decided, well, I have to include the moon song, which was only those sort of 2 lines and didn't really tell a story at all. I thought, well, we need a story around why the moon is hiding and what the effects of this are. So decided the cow jumping over the moon story would be a fun kind of launching pad to tell a fun story around that. And the style of the song as it evolved, Michelle's background vocals became a big part of it. She sings some really nice vocals on that, and "You Are the Moon" on that song.
I was very honored to be the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Matt said to me one night, like after dinner or something, he's like, "I need you to do some singing tonight." And I thought, okay, let's go. I'm excited.
She shines.
Yeah.
She shines as the moon on this song. And her vocals kind of give it a nice sort of ethereal storybook sound. And the sound of the song, I think, is inspired by an old Canadian children's show, which I think was syndicated in the US. It was called The Friendly Giant. You ever heard of The Friendly Giant?
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So The Friendly Giant sort of began with this sort of harp type music. It was actually a British folk song called, I'm forgetting the name of it now, but everyone will know it as the Friendly Giant theme, everyone in Canada of a certain age. And there was a storybook castle as this music was playing, and a moon up above. And then at the very end of the credits, the cow would jump over the moon. So the sound of the song is inspired by that old English folk song via the Friendly Giant theme.
Very nice. All right. Well, we're going to play that song for everyone now. Here it is, The Moon Song by Matt and the Dragonflies.
Who likes to play hide and seek?
I do.
Well, let's imagine the moon playing hide and seek with a cow and the wind.
I know this one. Does the cow jump over the moon?
Let's find that out together. Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, here I am.
Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, I was hiding.
Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right. Oh, hey ho, the shining moon reveals its face tonight. Well, the moon felt shy as the clouds rolled by, and the cow felt low, but she looked up high, and she said, "Oh my, I would like to try to leap over the moon." Oh, Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, here I am.
Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, I was hiding.
Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right. Oh, hey ho, the shining moon reveals its face tonight. Said the cow, I cry to a moonless sky, for there is no show of his face on high. And she said, oh, why should I leap so high? I cannot find the moon, no. Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, here I am.
Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, I was hiding.
Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right. Oh, hey ho, the shining moon reveals its face tonight. Said the wind, I sigh, for I long to spy on a cow so low that she leapt so high. And the wind said sigh, made the clouds blow by to reveal the dazzling moon. Oh, where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, here I am.
Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon? Where's the moon?
Here I am, I was hiding.
Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right. Oh, hey ho, the shining moon reveals its face tonight. Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right. Oh, hey ho, the shining moon reveals its face tonight.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0, and liftoff.
And the cow jumped over the moon.
But that's another story.
Right.
And that was the Moon Song, and that wraps up our song feature. The album is called Dragonfly Ring! Exclamation point. So, Matt and Michelle, let everybody know, where can they find, purchase, stream, download that album, and how can they find and connect with you guys?
So, Dragonfly Ring is available on all streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, tons of others. Anyone you can think of, I think it's been sent to. If you don't have a subscription to any of those, you can stream it on YouTube.
Yep.
And in terms of connecting with us, our website is www.mattandthedragonflies.com. That's the best place to reach us. There is a Matt and the Dragonflies Facebook account as well, so you can check that out. Should be linked to the website. Yeah, best places to get in touch. And there's an opportunity to drop a note on the website, Matt and the Dragonflies.
Awesome. All right. What is the next big thing coming up for Matt and the Dragonflies?
Well, the next big thing is music videos. So we don't have any at this point, and that's my next project, is learning video editing, and hopefully this summer we're going to put together a fun video with Michelle and I and the boys, and maybe Poppy, our dog, at a playground, and make a video for Letter Sound. So we'll be making some videos for the album. I've got a couple more songs in the works. I've got a Christmas song that is tucked away that I may develop for this Christmas, but could be next Christmas. We'll just see. Might be a while for the next album, but we'll just see how things go. It's a fire that's been lit for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, it never goes out. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it
Yeah.
happened. And I too am throwing my hat in the Christmas song ring this year, and
Very
Excellent.
Halloween too, and New Year's. I decided I'm just
Oh,
gonna do
yeah.
them all,
Yeah.
and
Good.
have my standards. So I got a nice ska punk Christmas song coming out,
Oh, wow.
an 80s inspired metal banger New Year's song,
Oh,
And then
Nice.
just a nice little Halloween song. So
oh, very
all good.
yes.
Awesome.
Can't go
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
We'll look forward to that.
yeah. Well, Matt, Michelle, it's been great having you on the show. As a special bonus, we're gonna do a song that's gonna play us out here. So tell us a little bit about the routine machine.
So the routine machine is all about the bedtime routine for kids, getting kids ready for bed, and kind of making that fun with a bit of a disco groove. Michelle's vocals on this one really add to it. She's Blondie and Boney M and
Yeah.
and ABBA
I
all
was
at
real- I was
once.
Nice.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all on the dance floor, boogieing ourselves out to bedtime.
Great. All right. Well, thank you guys again for coming on the show. It's great to
Thank
meet
you.
you
Thank
and
you,
learn
Patrick.
about you. And everybody, here is the routine machine.
But it's chilly after a bath.
It sure is, Ollie. So step into a warm towel and your wonderful bedtime routine. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba. Ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba-ba. Somebody needs the drawing machine. Somebody needs the drawing machine. Somebody needs the drawing machine. Wiggle, 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 the routine machine.
Now I'm gonna put on my favorite sock pajamas.
You're a shark-dressed boy, Ollie.
Eggs.
Somebody needs the PJ machine. Somebody needs the PJ machine. Somebody needs the PJ machine. Wiggle, 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 the routine machine. Ollie, your bubblegum toothpaste is all ready.
Yay, it's toothbrushing time.
Somebody needs the brushing machine. Somebody needs the brushing machine. Somebody needs the brushing machine.
A brush of sugar bugs, bumpity bump, bump, bump.
Wiggle, 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 the routine machine. So any bedtime story requests?
Can you do one about the cow and the moon and the wind?
I think I can make something up. Somebody needs the story machine. Somebody needs the story machine. Somebody needs the story machine. Hey ho, the shining moon is missing on the right hole. Wiggle, 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 the routine machine.
Finally, I'm warm and cozy in my bed.
Good night, Ollie.
Good night, Daddy.
Somebody needs the good night machine. Somebody needs the good night machine. Somebody needs the good night machine. Wiggle, 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 the routine machine.